Hello everyone, this is 7_bit_Judah, and I'm going to do a LiveTwin deck profile. I recently played this deck last Thursday. I don't know what time you're watching this, but last Thursday there was a back to Duel at one of my locals that I tend to frequent to at. And I just showed up to show up for fun and inadvertently built this deck 5 minutes before the tournament and ended up making it to the finals and winning. My matchups were against DDD in round 1. Round 2 was against Dogmatica Invoked DP. Round 3 was against Sky Striker DP. And then in the final round, I was against Prank Kids Brave. And I'll get into the list, I'll then get into the extra deck, and then I'll get into the side, and then I'll get into what cards I would side out depending on my matchups. So starting off with the main deck monsters, I play triple blue. Blue is in my opinion, and some of my friends' opinion, one of the best starters for the entirety of the LiveTwin combo. Because when you normal summon it, instead of summoning out the regular old Kiss a Kill, you summon out Kiss a Kill Frost, which is a good card where if you control an evil twin on the board, like an evil twin Link, your opponent adds a card from deck to hand besides by drawing it, you can banish it as cost and draw one card from your deck. I then played the 3 Kiss a Kill, 2 Kiss a Kill Frost, the one that banishes a draw, and then 1 Lila Treat. This is the ratio that I found works out best for me in a lot of other builds. Lila Treat is an interesting card to add in, because what it does is whenever your evil twin whenever a player takes battle damage from a battle involving an evil twin monster, you banish it as cost to target one monster that my opponent controls, and you can reduce its attack permanently by how much damage you took from that battle. I then also play 1 LiveTwin or Evil Twin Lila and Kiss a Kill, the main deck boss monster. It's a bit of a brick, in all honesty, because if you open up in your opening hand, it kind of is a dead card until you get like Trouble Sunny in the grave, and then you can go off. But if you open up in hand, you can use it as discard fodder for LiveTwin Home, for any of your other cards. You don't have to drop it even. You can even use it as a fodder. That's it for the LiveTwin monsters. For the spells and the traps for a LiveTwin and Evil Twin, I use 3 Sunny Snitch, one of the best spells or continuous spells in the game for the deck, because when you activate it, you search a LiveTwin monster. But if I control an Evil Twin, you can search if you control an Evil Twin, you can search an Evil Twin monster. So if you really want to get the main deck Evil Twin, you can search it out, if you really want to. But the best thing it does is, if you control an Evil Twin on the board, and your opponent normal special summons, each time they do a normal or special, you gain life points, they lose life points. I then play 2 secret passwords. There's a reason for that, and I'll come up with that in just a moment. This one searches out an Evil Twin, or an Evil Twin spell or trap card, or a LiveTwin spell or trap card. But if I control a Kiss a Kill and a Lila monster on the field, you can also add a LiveTwin monster. I then play 2 home, thinking about cutting it down to 1, because opening up 2 is kind of, it's not good. But having 2, if you see it, you see it. If you don't see it, it's searchable. I then play the 1 Evil Twin Challenge. It's just a monster reborn for your Kiss a Kills and that sort of thing. So like, say you have a board, your opponent does like a Regeki, they're all gone. You can then do challenge, bringing back either the links or even your main deck monsters to just wall up while your opponent does stuff, and just pray you survive. Now for the regular spells that I'm playing one Sign At Mining. This would have been a 3rd secret password, but currently I'm letting one of my friends borrow one, so I had to come up with a 3rd search card, and the Sign At Mining actually came up very often, and it was very useful. Also play the 1 of Desires. Even though Desires is put to 1, I still think it's a very powerful card in this deck. You're playing a lot of 3-ofs and 2-ofs in the deck, which, that point, putting in Desires, it may hinder your deck, but is a very low chance of it doing that. It's just also good to have that draw power. And then the cards for board negation, which I believe helped this deck a lot, was 3 Dark Ruler No More, because this deck goes first or second, it doesn't really matter. 3 Forbidden Droplet, and then 3 Imperm. Playing 3 of each is really good. There's also budget options in case you can't afford cards like Droplet or Dark Ruler More or even Imperm. Cards like Chalice, even monster effects like Effect Veiler, they're really good budget alternatives. Although Chalice may be alternatively a better card than Imperm, due to the fact that, say that you have cards in your field, you normal summon a monster and your opponent Scythe locks you. On the summon of Scythe Lock, you can use Chalice, whereas Imperm, you have to control no cards to do that. Which works out a lot whenever I play the deck. And then for spell and trap card removal, I'm playing 2 Cyclone and 1 Duster. I was thinking about playing 3 Cosmic Cyclone and no Duster, but just having the option to just blow out all the spells works out a lot without me having to side in all the spell and back row removal. So I like this thing very well. I'm also playing 2 Crossouts. I just picked them up, and I am loving it, especially with this deck. It helps out a lot when you open it up, and you know you have full combo. Unless you get Effect Veiler, then you cry, essentially. Or at least I do. But I was playing the technically third Crossout, but it's actually called by the grave, because I personally think instead of playing 3 Crossouts and 1 called by, you play 2 Crossouts, 1 called by, so that way you don't end up bricking a lot of the times on 2 Crossouts. Because at that point, while yes, it is kind of good and kind of okay, it just could have been a better card, in all honesty. A better card to have in your deck instead of just the 2 bricks and then the rest of your combo. And for hand traps, and there's also crossout targets, I am playing 2 Ash, 2 Nibiru, and then the 1 of Duel. I would have put in an Effect Veiler, but I totally forgot to at the time of building the deck. And during my matchups, especially against Prank Kids, Effect Veiler came up a lot and often that I realized if I had the with the crossout in hand and the Effect Veiler me, it would have been a lot better to use the crossout and be able to get rid of the Effect Veiler instead of just having to have these cards. So I may drop either this down to 0 and replace it with an Effect Veiler, or drop a card down and put in an Effect Veiler. For the hand trap lineup, that's it for the hand traps. Let's get on to the extra deck. For the extra deck, it's a little bit weird. These are the ratios that I've been testing with and I've been thoroughly enjoying. Well, testing with. Also, the only ones I can afford, because I built this deck pretty quickly. I'm playing through triple Kiss-a-Kill. And a lot of people think, oh, he's playing triple Kiss-a-Kill. I'm betting that means 3 Lila. No, actually. I'm only playing 2 Lila. Even with this ratio, it hasn't come up often where I end up needing to make another Lila to get through my combo. Because usually, when I normal summon the Lila, the LiveTwin, I will usually, when I open up Sunny Switch or something like that, I'll search out a Kiss-a-Kill. Just so that way I can get to this easier than the Lila. Because a lot of time, actually, I usually go for the pop and then the draw, no matter what. Except when I'm going first. And it just comes up so much more often for the pop, just to get rid of excess cards. And just to bait out cards as well. I'm also playing 3 Evil Twin Trouble Sunny. This card is broken. In general. It's quick effect to tribute, and it's for summon up to 1 Kiss-a-Kill and up to 1 Lila, meaning you can just summon up 1 of each, or just 1 or the other. So that way your opponent doesn't know which one you're going to do. Because the quick effect during either player's turn, it is once per turn for that effect, but the other effect, which is why you play the Brick and the Evil Twin spell trap cards, is you banish this and send 1 Evil Twin from your hand, field, or graveyard as cost, send 1 card and field it to the grave, and it doesn't target for its effect. So it's a good bait out card as well for certain effects. I'm also playing the Nightmare package. Nightmare package because I saw my friend playing it, and it was really powerful, especially when he did it against me. Also, just able to draw cards since they're co-linked, and resetting cards like Droplet, Imperm, even Dark Ruler No More, or even any of your LiveTwin spells or trap cards, is kind of nut. It's kind of busted in my opinion. I'm also playing Unchained Abomination. It's just a good fiend for in case I get locked out of fiends and either I don't have access to these or I just want to because I know I'm playing my opponent's playing a bit of a destruction deck, just play that for popping cards. And I'm also playing Access Code Talker. A lot of builds will either play this card, Underworld Goddess, or Firewall. The Firewall is for the hand trap version where you're playing more hand traps instead of like a Droplet, Imperm, and Dark Lunamore. For the Firewall lineup, you summon it, and based on how many monsters are co-linked it, you could add back 2 hand traps. Or 2 monster hand traps. I just played Access Code Talker, although it never came up at all during the tournament. It was just a dead card in my extra deck, but I never really had the need to summon it. And then I'm also playing the Zeus package, where Zeus also only came up once during my entire time in the tournament, and that was against DD because I needed a way to summon out monsters without triggering a monster effect, to where he could suck it up with one of the XYZs and attach it to his material. And against Prank Kids, there were moments where I could have gone into Zeus, but he had a Regeki on board through Battle Butler, and it was just, it wouldn't plus me, and I would lose a lot of resources that way. Which is why some people are suggesting instead of playing Sky Cavalry Centaura, you play Gachi Gachi Gantetsu, the one that says it cannot be destroyed by card effects, which is what they did for against the Virtual World matchup, so it wouldn't get popped off the Chuchi. Although, I'm liking this Sky Cavalry. It's just a good card to bounce back cards and cannot be destroyed by battle, which is, it's just a generic effect, which I like a lot. That's that for the extra deck. And then this is the side deck. Again, I built this entire deck just within 5 minutes before the tournament. I had played the deck before though, but not as good as I did probably that tournament. I'm only playing 3 monsters and 3 spells, and the rest are traps in the side deck. For the monsters, 3 Lancia. Just a good card, in my opinion, especially against the DD matchup where they can't banish for their fusions to get the extenders. And against Prank Kids, can kind of be helpful, especially whenever they start banishing some stuff for some of their effects. And then for the memes, me and my group of friends, we decided, you know what? Let's either main deck 3 Regeki or side deck 3 Regeki. I tried maining 3 at one point, brought it to an RMC event. I got rolled because I drew 3 almost every hand, and it was so bad. That's that for the monsters and spells on the side. For the traps, I'm playing triple evenly, because I don't need a battle phase to still go off my combo. I just like controlling the board with this deck. So doing it evenly is really good, especially against cards like decks like Prank Kids, where I force them to have a certain amount of cards in their field. And they don't really have a negation unless they have Griffin on the field. We're also playing 2 Judgments, 2 Strikes. Never saw these come up, although I'm thinking about cutting down the strikes and putting another Judgment in. Then I'm playing 2 anti-spells, which this came up a lot, especially against the Sky Striker matchup and the Prank Kids matchup. And some friends have suggested to me to be playing, instead of playing 2 strikes, you play a 3rd Judgment and a 3rd anti-spell. That, or even just play the 2 anti-spells, 2 Judgments, then play 2 Token Collectors for against the Sword Soul Synchro junk deck, or the 60 card pile deck, which has recently gotten popular, that plays around with Mare and the punk stuff. And especially also against Prank Kids to add out the Brave package. But yeah, that's the side. So for my first matchup against DDs, I ended up losing game 1 just because I couldn't have a way to out the board. But putting in the Judgments, the Evenlies, and the Regekis actually took me the game. Mostly just these cards. I took out my Nibiru's because I realized he would always have the extenders in hands. And I also took out the Ashes because a lot of the time he was just placing them from the deck directly to the Pendulum and just summoning the rest from hand. And the Regeki, because I realized they don't the person I was going up against didn't make any Omni Negates, and all of them just placed or added Dark Contracts. So I could easily OTK if I opened up Regeki and then like an extender. So I could be able to go off. My second round, which was against Invoked, I took game 1 just because I was able to stop him from going through some Invoke stuff. Forced out the Flu Negate where he targeted a card, and then I just distributed for Trouble Sunny, popped some stuff, and drew off. But I decided to play in the Evenlies, the anti-spells, and the Lancias to stop him from doing the Invoke plays, and Nadir's Servant plays, and Super Poly plays. Because I realized, oh, he's probably playing Super Poly. I always got rid of it because it was such a scary card, especially for me in my deck. Because on the summon of the Leela and Kill, I would activate their effects, and then he would do Super Poly, get rid of them, make either a Mud Dragon or something that he could do with monsters on his field as well. Like a Starving Venom. He made a Starving Venom on me with his Alistair and my, I believe it was the Kill. And then round 3, I never actually got to go into game 2. He had to leave early, but game 1 I took it in the end by having triple Trouble Sunny on the board, to the point where he was taking close to 6,000 damage every time he summoned a monster. And he was being forced to summon multiple monsters in order to try to get through his effects. And then my final round against Preg Kids, the first round I took it because he didn't open up Brave, and I ended up doing a Droll, which hurt him a lot from being able to search for pranks and that sort of thing and draw off the pranks. Game 2, he took it. We ended up going for a long period of time, close to when there was only like 1 minute left in time. And we ended up going to overtime. But in game 3, I put in the anti-spell fragrances, only 2 Lancias. I put in, I believe, 3 Evenlies. And then I put in the Judgment package. I would have put in the Regekis, but my opponent was being smart while playing Prank Kids and was making Bow Wow bark and then tributing it during the standby phase so they wouldn't be destroyed by card effects. So I realized using Regeki wouldn't work a lot, especially in that scenario, because then I wouldn't be able to blow up the board. But just having these cards in general was helpful so much and ended up giving me the win. And yeah, that's the LiveTwin deck profile. If you guys do want to see more, leave a comment down below. If you guys did enjoy this kind of content and would like to see more, please do consider giving a like and also subscribing. I would very much appreciate it, and I want to be able to make more content in the future, hopefully. And I know that I've been uploading for a bit. It's just because of work and among other things. I know it's just excuses, but I'll really want to do this more often because I thoroughly do enjoy making these deck profiles for you guys. Rightio. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Bye.